Welcome to this quick overview of Swift CRM and what it can do for you. First, we want to talk about a few concepts, then I'm going to show you just the very basics of the actual application. Our goals for phase one are to track more opportunities and to automate your follow-up. Not using a CRM is for sure going to cost you money, and most typically where that shows up is that you meet somebody who is somewhere in the sales process. Let's say they are halfway through this cycle, ranging from knowing about the problem but not yet shopping for a solution. Let's say they're somewhere in the middle here in the yellow zone. They're not yet ready to buy in the green zone. And so you meet them here, and if you're not using a CRM, you are for sure going to drop some of those people. You might track some of them. If you're only tracking 20 potential deals, you frankly probably don't need a CRM unless you've got a very involved selling process. But if you're going to track 200 or 2,000 or 20,000, you absolutely need software to help you automate this and track wherever somebody is from this buying cycle, ranging from initially just aware of the problem to through desire for a solution, becoming brand aware, which is becoming aware of a specific company, who's the vendor that's actually going to provide this. And then they get into the mindset of help me trust you. They proceed to a verbal commit if it's not an instantaneous sale. If it's more than a few $100, it's not an impulse purchase. They may go through some sort of timeline from I've decided to buy to actually a done deal, and let's say they verbally commit and then it's a done deal. As indicated here, the job at the beginning is that of advertising. However, that information should flow into the CRM early if you've got a high touch selling cycle and it's a high value per client. Then you want that in the CRM early. If it's a low value, then you want to focus mostly on the marketing, and just a few people that call in are going to actually be the ones for sales. And so the nature of your CRM use is going to be more along the lines of marketing and pushing people further down into the funnel so that you spend more time closing and more time on mass market sales and closing sales without actually speaking to somebody. Anyway, back to the goals of phase one. As mentioned, first you want to never drop a lead in any status. Some of those people are going to be in the middle, and it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. I'm sure that has happened to you, where you realize, oh, I should have called that guy back. But even worse is if you're, let's say, in real estate, and you call somebody after a few years, and they say, oh, I wish I had thought of you. I wish I knew you were in real estate because we just bought a house through so-and-so, or we just listed with your worst competitor, or whatever the case is. And some of that's just a case of nurturing that lead. So Swift CRM and Swift Marketing will absolutely help you do that. But for now, we want to focus on the basics. The basics are never drop a lead in any status. So anytime you get a selling opportunity and somebody has raised their hand and said, I'm interested, or I may buy from you, even if it's 2 years away or 5 years away or 7 years away, you want to put that into the CRM so that you can incubate and nurture that lead. Next, you want to automate your follow-up, and I'll show you how to do just the basics of that in just a moment. Third, you want to organize your sales opportunities. Sometimes if somebody's not using an existing CRM, they've got, let's say, slips of paper. They might have Excel sheets. They might just simply be using their inbox in their email and have a mental model of where people are at in possible selling cycles, or they're just sort of doing it haphazardly. They might even be using a whiteboard. Whatever the case is for you, we want to help you get that all into one place so that you've got one web-based system that you can access 24/7 from any device, because everything lives in the cloud. Last, for phase one, we want you to set the foundations for growth, and what that's going to look like is a CRM is used for client and customer relationship management, and that's going to need to be touched. The overall software as your system, as your team grows, will need to be accessible for client support, for fulfillment, for different departments, so that you've got a centralized database that everybody can touch on. Next, let's dive into the actual software and just focus on the basics for now. Here's an example of the pipeline, the opportunities pipeline, and this is in Swift CRM. I should mention that Swift CRM is tied to Swift Cloud. Swift Cloud handles all the basics of your team operations, including company management, including contacts, calendar, your inbox, sort of the basics of everyday work, including files and documents. You can store documents online, including proposals, that sort of thing, and then also store documents and transfer those back and forth to clients, just like some other competing systems. We've got it built into this as well because it's fully integrated throughout the entire machine. In the CRM, This is where you're going to manage actual selling opportunities. Now, the point of handoff for us between Swift Marketing and Swift CRM is if somebody has raised their hand and said, I'm interested in buying. And that is, generally speaking, if for higher dollar sale amounts. If you've got something that's less than $200, your operations are going to be more marketing heavy and less sales heavy. If you've got a client value per client of, let's say, $200,000, you're going to probably dump in a lot of clients into the CRM because each client is worth so much money that it's worth being high touch with them. So we don't know what that is for you. It's going to vary based on your business. However, for most of our clients who are in professional services, it's going to be a mix of the two, where marketing is the job of generating demand and nurturing those leads up to the point that they are ready to be actually spoken to by a sales professional. As mentioned, here's the opportunities, and it's fairly straightforward. What you see here is you can just click on any title. If you click on the actual little icon here, that's going to bring up the contact. That's going to look something like this. For demo purposes, I want to show you just me. So you can edit any of this up here, and that is specific to the human. I should specify that we separate the selling opportunities from the human contacts, because a single selling opportunity is often multiple contacts and or a single contact may be multiple selling opportunities, right? They're really two separate issues, so we do separate them. You've got the address book, and then you've got the sales opportunities. If you are doing business with a contact, he or she, if you were in, let's say, business finance, might be good for multiple transactions. Or if you're doing business with a business, there might be multiple people involved in the transaction, and therefore we separate those out for you. As mentioned, we just want to focus on just the basics here so that you can dive in, start using the system, and then you can go through our full training after you've used it for a few days and are sort of comfortable with the basics. This is the actual opportunity detail page, and this is about a single selling opportunity. So in this case, Roger Vaughn, that's me. Let's say I was listing a house and I was going to buy a house. There would be two separate sales opportunities on this page. So on the contact detail, by the way, you can always go down here to the CRM and you can see the open transactions with that person. So if I was buying a house and selling a house, I would just click on this tab on the actual person's info, and I could also decide if they're an ongoing contact. So if you are in a business that involves ongoing sales, then you could just decide this person's an A account, an A plus account, whatever the case is for you. In this case, I'm in as a client right now, and they have two different businesses, and this is one area where Swift CRM really excels, is the ability to track multiple different deal types side by side, and we do that really truly better than anybody else out there, and I'll show you why in a moment. For now, for the basics, for your first couple days, I want you to just focus on 4 parts. First off is up here. This is the actual status, and as you can see in this drop down, you've got the basic statuses of anything ranging from new, incoming, have you contacted this person, have you actually made contact, through is it a match, are they qualified, are they able to afford our services, do they have good credit, do they own a house, whatever the case is for you. Yes, that's verbally committed. A lot of times in financial services there's a little bit of a gap between yes, the deal looks like it's a go, and actually a done deal where the contract is signed, returned, they've paid, whatever the case is. One, that's for an actual open transaction that's in fulfillment. Ongoing account is for any sort of ongoing sale. And each of these has sub-accounts, and the sub-accounts can all be customized. The super accounts cannot, because every single possible sale fits into one of these. And if you think that you don't fit into one of these, by all means, let us know. Reach out to us. But the incubate maybe later. That's if this person's sort of on the fence. Let's say they need to sell additional stakeholders. They say, call me back in 6 months. Something like that is going on. Lost is if the deal is gone. Let's say it went to a competitor, something like that. Close successful, close unsuccessful. Finally, trash. Trash can will be held for 90 days and then discarded. So each of these has a subsection. So if I set this to new make contact, you're going to notice this orange box changes and the call attempt is being tracked automatically. So if I just click left voicemail, notice this changed up here and the call attempt changed automatically. So each of these has a subsection, and the subsection can be modified. So in the case of one transaction, this is a real estate listing. You'll notice that this is custom to that specific deal type. So whatever your transaction type is for you, we can customize these subtypes for you. So let's say there's an offer accepted. We just set that as transaction, hit save opportunity. This is just for you, and it shows up on the opportunities dashboard as right here. It's just a quick little note: selling wife on moving, call back January 3rd. And so you see that note right here. That's enough for you to start with. As soon as you're confident with that, then you can also check in with the comments. Comments can be as much or as little as you want, and notice that everything's time date stamped, and it's also who stamped, who made the comment. The system does support multiple users logging into a single CRM opportunity. This blue box here, this whole area, is customized to your transaction type. Whatever that transaction type is for you, we can store whatever it is that helps you make the sale. All of that goes into this box. The rest of this information you can certainly play with. This is likelihood of closing. It's just a drag and drop, and it's a gut sense. Projected value, let's say it's 25,000, it's property listing. Client desire, where did the lead come from? All of this you can kind of play with it. At the beginning, we encourage you to just get comfortable with this section up here and the comments and these fields here. And for more information, see our advanced video. Hope that helps you. To add a new one, simply go to the opportunities page and click on add new selling opportunity. This is going to search your address book. In this case, there's nobody in here named Sally, so it's going to say, all right, you want to add a new person, or you can just click this little green button. Just, all right, Sally Jones, and just drop in her Sally at jones.com, something like that. Add in a phone number. What type of deal is this? Let's say it's another listing or a real estate buyer, whatever it is for you, and simply hit save opportunity. If you wanted, you could also click on company. You could put in the company phone URL. The reason we get the basics of each person's info up front prior to creating a full record is we're going to look up as much as we can about that person. If we can find information based on their email or their phone for you automatically, we will. Same thing with the company, and if we get the company URL, we can retrieve a lot of automated information and fill out the record for you. So I encourage you to try that out. Go ahead and set up some transactions, whatever you have. That is your homework for today, is to start dropping in all those slips of paper, all those potential conversations. Maybe go through your email, go through your phone, think about parties where you've met people, and start to put everything into the system and just get it roughed in, and then you can start to refine the details and the actual status once it is in there. But step one is really just fill up your pipeline with anybody that is likely to buy or is a potential sale for you, and that's a great place to start. If you've got an existing pipeline, we can do an import if you've got a lot of data. If you've just got slips of paper, then obviously you'd have to put that information in yourself unless you wanted to pay us to scan it. But I think you get the idea. Hopefully this helps you, and welcome aboard. If you have any questions, let us know.